Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mallo Ramashaba. We are back for another podcast. Yes, we are absolutely looking forward to an amazing show this afternoon, this evening, the Offside Podcast. I'm actually here with a very good colleague of mine, Tosan. Unfortunately, our other colleague couldn't join us, but Tosan is with us. Tosan,
Mm.
how are you feeling?
I
I know it's Friday night, a bit chilly in Johannesburg, but always warm when football is around.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Marlow. Good to be back on the show with you. Unfortunately, like you said, Tumal couldn't join us today, but looking forward to a cracking show with you and catching up with the games that have come through over the week and the upcoming games that are coming up over this weekend. We're having a cracker of a game in the next 1 hour or so, so
Yep.
looking forward to that as well.
Oh, I see you want to jump straight into it. Looking at the Champions League, obviously. I mean, maybe we should start. Obviously, looking at the Champions
Mm.
League. I mean, we obviously saw a mouth-watering clash yesterday. Red Bull Leipzig um, up against PSG, which is obviously going
Wow.
to be the
Mm.
semi-final. But they played Atletico Madrid. I mean,
Yeah.
Diego
Mm.
Simeone in this particular game. I mean, we saw how animated he was when he beat Liverpool. Almost
Yes.
pulled a Jose Mourinho with excitement,
Mm.
but
With the side,
this was a
yes, yes.
this was a completely different game. I mean, at 1-1, it
Mm.
was looking like anyone could take it. What is your
To take
assessment
it.
of the two teams and just the way they played?
I think with the game, it was quite an exciting game from my point of view, and I felt that Atletico went into that game underestimating the power of RB Leipzig, and
Yeah,
I also
agreed.
expected that like FC Leipzig would fall like a pack of cards because remember their star man uh, Timo Werner has gone
Werner,
switch
yes,
side to Chelsea,
to Chelsea.
so they were a little bit short on their attacking side, but it just shows you that the collective power of a team and team spirit can pull a team through. So I felt that even the defense of Atletico wasn't as compact as it was supposed to be. Then also the attacking side as well from them is they've been looking like they've not been so sharp with especially with their strikers with Morata and the likes of Costa not performing to the regular
Not a
best.
good game by
So, but
Costa at all. I mean, he was substituted in this particular game. I mean, obviously, when it was 1-1,
yeah.
they were coming. I
Mm,
mean, you started seeing obviously João
mm,
Felix, Morata, Felipe coming on, but I mean, Red Bull
yeah.
Leipzig. I mean, I
Mm,
was absolutely impressed. I mean, these are young boys. They're energetic. I mean, you're looking at Paulson up front,
mm,
Sabitzer in the midfield. You know that
mm.
creative energy, making. I
Yeah.
think
You.
for me, what I love about
Yeah.
this Leipzig team is how they play as a unit. They remind me like of the Germany
Mm,
team that won the World Cup, where there is no individual stars. I mean, Upamecano at the back, heavily linked to Arsenal,
mm.
excellent, very calm
Arsenal.
under
Mm,
pressure. I mean, these are
yeah.
young boys who look like they are
Mm,
playing in the under 23s or in the reserves, enjoying their
mm.
football.
Yeah.
No superstar player, but everyone's playing for the team.
Y- Yeah, and it's a positive thing for also for a manager like that. Is he's currently one of the youngest managers in Europe, if not the youngest in the top five leagues at the moment. And it's encouraging to see that you can go with a pattern of play and you can get results from it. And I was quite happy they got to this to the next round.
100%. I mean,
Mm,
we probably want to move along. I mean, you're looking at obviously Chelsea being knocked out by the team that's playing tonight, Bayern Munich, playing a
mm,
very, very tricky Barcelona team. I mean, Barcelona missing out on the opportunity to obviously win the league. They haven't won any silverware this season.
mm.
Rumors of Messi potentially leaving. I mean, what is happening at Barcelona? Is this now the opportunity for them to really stake their claim to say, look, we've had a bad season, but we can win the Champions League?
Yeah, I believe so. I think this is an opportunity, like you rightly said, for them, and I think they need to take it with both hands and just seize the opportunity. Um, what has been lacking seriously with the team is cohesion. They've not been able to play like the way we know Barcelona to play without the if Messi is not on his top game. You understand? So
100%.
it's gonna be a tough one for them. I think Bayern look like they're more up for it.
Yeah.
They're coming up on the back of, since the lockdown, they won all their games in the Bundesliga and
Yeah.
winning the German Cup as well.
One
And
cup.
so their morale is quite very high. And you can see that they're really up for it. You imagine the game against Chelsea. They were already 3 goals up
Yes.
and they still came to the next game fired up, ready to win the game again. So
Yeah.
I think they'll blow Barcelona out of the water, except Messi produces what he
Unless if
did
there's
in
a unless if there's a moment of magic that we know Messi
yeah.
can produce. I mean,
Mm,
he's a big game player. We don't
mm,
have to speak much about them, but it's whether as a team collectively. We saw them last season in the Champions League against Liverpool, not being able to do it, even though they went in
mm,
with a heavy lead. So for me, the question marks always about Barcelona is can they do it as a unit, as a team?
mm,
You know, this is not the Iniesta and Xavi and Neymar Barcelona. You know, they've got Frankie de
mm.
Jong, Dembele, obviously still coming back. We don't know if he'll feature, but it cannot always be about Messi. But really, really
Definitely.
looking forward
Mm,
to this one, Tosan. It looks like it's going to
mm,
be a crack of a game in just under an hour to kick off in that particular game. I mean, Serge Gnabry, for me, from a Bayern point of view, I mean, how Arsenal let him go. I mean, that is, yeah, I mean, I guess it's just one of those things, but he, to
one of
me,
those
has been
things in football.
one of the most improved footballers, in my opinion, in world football. I mean, barely being able to
Mm,
break into the Arsenal team, and now probably one of the best youngsters in the world. I mean,
yeah.
what do you make of him? Serge Gnabry with Lewandowski,
No.
Thomas Muller, frightening, frightening team this is.
No, that the Gnabry, like I always say, is someone who, Wenger saw that potential in him, but at the time he was just unfortunate he couldn't break into the team at that time. And interestingly, I think when the stats came out of how impressive his season had been, um, I think a reporter went back to a previous quote by Tony Pulis back then when he was the manager of West Brom and Gnabry was on loan there.
Yeah,
Gnabry couldn't even get into a West Brom team, and that was a
can you
team
imagine?
who were struggling for relegation.
Can
And
you
now,
imagine?
was over. Imagine now in the space of 2 years, that guy has turned into a 100 million quote unquote player. So it's
Can you
just
imagine?
impressive how
Yeah,
football evolves. You
evolves.
can
Yeah,
actually change your whole career in within a space of 6 months or even a year. You understand? So
yeah,
that's why sometimes I say in football, never write a player off.
hundred
Never do
percent.
that. Yeah.
Talking about writing off, I mean, we have to talk about PSG versus Atalanta.
Mm,
Pleasantly surprised. Hats off for me for Atalanta. I mean, for a team to finish third in Serie A with I think just only 10 points or so behind the eventual winners Juventus to go toe to toe with the likes of
mm,
Neymar, Icardi, uh, uh, Idrissa Gueye. I mean, we are talking about a star-studded side without obviously Mbappe, who came on later in terms of starting lineup. I mean, Julian
mm,
Draxler on the bench. This is a world. I mean, I think they mentioned something like Neymar's salary alone could pay for the whole Atalanta side. But Tosan, looking
totally.
at this particular game,
Mm.
Atalanta did not look like a side who would be completely blown out of the water, and they weren't. They played absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the game as it even says before pre lockdown and post lockdown coming back, their game was has been splendid. I think they lost only 1 or 2 games after. I think they lost just one game in Syria after coming back from the lockdown, and they've been playing fantastic football, high scoring matches. You could get in a game. I remember watching a game against Lecce. The game it was ended up 8-1 or something like that, and even from them, the momentum has been building, and even PSG at the time were getting scared that look, this Atalanta side are a dangerous side, and they were just unlucky. I think they let their guards down towards the 65th and 75th minute, and
Yeah.
they allowed PSG to come back into the game, because even before PSG equalized, they were hammering on them, pushing the pressure. And I think, if I'm being honest, I think PSG were a bit lucky and they were just
Would you say so?
able to. No, I
I
felt
don't
so.
know. I
Maybe.
mean, I see it differently. I mean, I see the fact that a game of two halves.
Mm,
I see that in this particular game, being able to bring on, I mean, obviously 4 or 5 substitutions. You bring on Mbappe. I think
mm,
Neymar had an opportunity in the first half, in the first couple of minutes, where he should have scored. It would have changed the dimensions of the game. But
mm.
I think they just did not have the legs, to be honest, Atalanta, and maybe the know-how and experience at this level maybe was their Achilles heel. I think next season there'll be more experience when it comes to games like this and what to do at this particular level. But the quality shone through. I mean, maybe on another day they would have just had 5 more minutes and been able to scrape through. But I think the quality and the resistance of PSG ultimately saw them through.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You made a very, very valid point about inexperience. This is like the second time of them being in the Champions League, and lucky enough they were able to scale through into the third position as Serie A. So next season we'll be seeing them in the Champions League again. So I
Manchester
believe.
City,
Mm,
Lyon. Should be a cracking
mm,
one. I know the game is only tomorrow, but looking forward to it. I mean, you're looking at a French side, Lyon, excellent,
mm,
excellent side. No one would have probably expected them to be here, but they are. I mean,
mm.
this is Champions League football, you know.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. I mean, beating
Anything.
Juventus is not an easy feat. Yes, they only
Mm,
went through on away goals rule in that
mm,
particular game, but yeah, I mean, to score at Juventus and at home, Ronaldo obviously bowing out against the Manchester City,
mm.
who now are they turning the corner with regards to European football? You know, is Pep having the tactical discipline and the know-how of getting over the line with Manchester City? Yes, he's done it with Barcelona, but
Mm.
these are a different bunch of players. Are they maturing for you to a side that can go all the way?
No, I believe this is their biggest opportunity for them to go all the way. I think if you look at it on paper, you just have only a team that can only be like a possible opposition to them is probably Bayern.
Okay.
So I believe it's an opportunity for Pep this time this season. The only thing that I feel that they may be lacking is in the final third. I'm not too confident with Jesus being leading the front
Yeah, I
line,
think I would agree.
close
I think I
to
would agree.
Sergio Aguero. In terms of his numbers, it doesn't stack up as compared to Aguero. So,
Yeah.
but apart from that, I think the road has been made clear for them. I think this is the best opportunity. If they ever wanted to win the Champions League as their ambition, I think between them and PSG, this is the best opportunity that they have to get to the Champions League.
So would I be right in saying you are going for a PSG Man City final? Because as we know, PSG will play the winner, obviously, of Bayern and Barca, and then obviously Manchester City beating Lyon. In your opinion,
Yes,
how are you looking at things lining up?
yes, it goes between my own favorites would be between Man City and PSG, then Bayern as well coming in the mix. But I think like in the game against PSG against Atalanta, you could see that Neymar was hungry for it. He wanted to get his team over the line, and I believe that this is a perfect opportunity for them to do that.
Tosan, excellent from a European analysis. Obviously, news breaking today. Arsenal obviously signing Willian.
Yeah,
Mikel Arteta saying that he likes the versatility of the player, the fact that he can play in
yeah,
3, 4 different positions. He doesn't
mm,
have to leave London. He's been 7 years at Chelsea. He knows the English game. He'll link
mm,
up very well, obviously, with David Luiz, his fellow Brazilian. How
mm.
are you seeing this signing affecting things positively from an Arsenal point of view? I mean, news broke, obviously we had been waiting for him to complete his medical, which did happen. Seeing the pictures coming out of Arsenal, I mean, for me, fantastic signing. Whether you play him out on the wing, whether you play him in the number 10 position, I think he can add a lot of dynamism into the team, attacking ability, 1-2 passes, obviously with Pepe, Lacazette, Aubameyang. So a real versatile player from an Arsenal perspective. How are you seeing this damaging Chelsea or actually benefiting Arsenal?
No, I was quite excited with the signing. It's a good signing for Arsenal. Key things that I thought of as when the rumors was coming up about Arsenal picking him up. First of all, he's going to be free. Then, if you look at, like you rightly said, the versatility of the player, what he brings to a team, and also one thing that I like about Willian is that his fitness is quite good.
Yeah.
He's a player that at 32, some players start dropping in terms of fitness and all that, but he seems to be quite fit. Even like so, he brings that aspect. Then also with set pieces as well, it seems to be also good as well. So I believe he's a good signing, being that he's also free. So I think he's going to add to the attack. My only worry would be that he doesn't now come in and the Arsenal board think that he can now be like a replacement to the like of someone like Lacazette, which I feel adds a lot to the attacking side
Two
of
different
Arsenal.
positions, though, wouldn't you say? I mean, Willian is not your out and out number 9. He's more your number 11, even though we see he's going to be wearing the jersey number 12. In terms of positioning, wouldn't you play him behind Lacazette or to the left or to the right of him, or play him in midfield? I mean, if Ceballos gets an injury, would you not play him with Xhaka in the midfield?
Yeah, what I was alluding to was that, for the past 1 or 2 seasons now, Aubameyang, because of accommodating Lacazette, he has been playing from the wing, and we know that his preferred position is at the middle. So there were rumors coming up that Juventus and Atletico were interested in Lacazette, and Arteta was thinking, oh, okay, since Aubameyang can play up in the middle, William can play up from the left. But I feel we would still need that dynamic of Lacazette being in there.
I agree.
And with someone like William taking that position at the center, I believe is going to work well for Arsenal as well. Saying that also he's coming to that age where you would want to play more central. And I think it will help Arsenal as going forward.
Does this then mean that a Coutinho, those transfer rumors should fall away? I mean, we know he's still contracted to Barcelona, even though he's at Bayern. Funny, those two teams playing tonight. But does then that mean their pursuit of a Coutinho or a Thomas Partey then falls away?
No, I don't see that in any sense. The only thing that I see with regards to Coutinho signing would be if Arsenal going for Coutinho would only be dependent on someone like still the same person I'm referring to, Lacazette. If Lacazette goes, Aubameyang goes to the middle, William plays from the left hand side, and Coutinho sits just right behind Aubameyang. So that still makes sense. But and also Partey, I don't see his arrival or Coutinho's arrival also coming into affecting someone like Thomas Partey from coming as well. So, but everything just all boils down to how much the board is ready to spend, and the number of players that they are ready to let go. You understand? Which I feel
100%.
There are lots of players that needs to go, coming from the defensive side. Socrates, Mustafi, Chambers. We have the other players who are coming back from loan. We need to get offload Ozil. So I think there's lots of opportunities for Arsenal to recoup some revenue so that they can raise funds to go for the targets that they want.
Yeah, 100%. Excellent, Tosan. Just to obviously touch on the PSL results and what has been going. We opened up the Premier League return after COVID, with Mamelodi Sundowns playing Orlando Pirates. That was 0-0 in that particular game. Not the best of games. We will come to it in a sec. Kaizer Chiefs played Bidvest Wits 1-1 in that particular game. So a lot happening at the top with regards to who's going to win the league, what is going on. Chippa United played Cape Town City. Cape Town City winning that game 1-0. And the game that ended 45 minutes ago, Mamelodi Sundowns being held by Highlands Park 1-1. Maybe we'll just have a look at maybe one or two of the games and just where this puts the log. I mean, really interesting. Tosan, Mamelodi Sundowns now obviously in second place, 3 points behind Kaizer Chiefs with the exact amount of games played, which is 23, 7 more to go. It's going down to the wire. How do you see the remaining 7 games and how the PSL is looking?
Wow, it's going to be it's very exciting coming from a neutral's point of view.
Why are you neutral?
You know my position to consider the league this season. I want Kaizer Chiefs to win. You know that, you know. But I'm deeply disappointed with Kaizer Chiefs. Look,
tactically, do you think
the same thing we were complaining about even for previous shows that me and you have been on? You understand?
Yes.
We've discussed about this on and off the studio time and all that. The same thing we always complain about Kaizer Chiefs. They don't seem to know how to wrap games up. I don't understand what is going on with them. Finish up the game. You know, that goal from Nukovic was splendid. You know, I really love Nukovic.
Yes,
really,
excellent cross by Manyama. Typical Kaizer Chiefs.
Excellent cross. You know, wonderful heading ability with that guy, and he's someone that I really, really hope. I think if who was the person alluding to? I think it was the Sundowns manager who was saying that
need so much money. Yes.
Yeah, that's the South African FA should consider getting those guys to play for Bafana. You know, you can nationalize those guys, him and Sereno. So I think my issue is
we are still trying to nationalize the banks and the mines. So one thing at a time.
So I believe that if Kaizer Chiefs can find a way to wrap up games and they can find a way to close their leaky defense. No, look at Wits will have won that game if they were not careful. So I think they just need to work on that, and just unfortunate that Sundowns would have capitalized on that game, but they were facing a tough side as Orlando Pirates. That game was a very
not the best game, I would say.
Not the best game. It was quite boring. I never really enjoyed it, but I believe it's going to be a fight to the end.
But you're still going for a Kaizer Chiefs win?
Yeah, no, I'm still going for Kaizer Chiefs. I think my honest opinion is, like I said this before, and I'm repeating it again. My opinion is that Kaizer Chiefs should play a 4-4-2.
Okay.
Because
would you play Castro and Jukovic, or would you drop one of them? Okay, and maybe have a Parker and Nukovic, or are you okay with 2 big target men up front?
No, I'll put Parker on the bench because I personally don't see his effect in the game.
Okay.
So I'll put 2 target men up front. Then maybe you put Castro more on top of the middle because he's more of a physical presence. But also Nukovic has shown that he can run with the ball. He's good off the ball. Yes. He's good off the head. So I feel he can play more as a supporting striker. So 4-4-2 would help Kaizer Chiefs wrap up games more. Because if you notice, most of their goals are scored from set pieces. You understand? So you know, what's your own opinion? What do you feel about the two horse race?
I don't know if it's a formation thing with Kaizer Chiefs. I think it's a mentality and also a coaching issue, especially when it comes to substitutions. I mean, I look at the timing of the substitutions and the personnel of the substitutions. Sometimes I'm not sure if he is trying to go for the killer goal or he's trying to defend, and his indecisiveness in who he brings off and who he brings on from a tactical point of view, I think is more my main issue. From a formation point of view, I mean, whether he goes with a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1, like he likes to do, I don't know if it's so much about that. But for me, yeah, definitely the substitutions, which I think he should make at critical times, and he doesn't, or he makes, but he's bringing out players that are playing well. So I think from a coaching point of view, it might just be that. But as we've seen, I mean, in the resumption of the league, there's going to be many teams that are going to drop points. It might come down to the head-to-head between the two sides. I think they play in 2 weeks or so. So when they play each other, I think potentially Kaizer Chiefs could extend the gap to maybe 6, or Mamelodi Sundowns can close it to honors even, and no points different between them. It'll have to go down to goal difference. So also the whole thing of them not playing at their stadiums and no fans, there's injuries. We saw obviously Castro coming off. How you use your squad. We do know that there's 5 substitutions being used. So a lot of football still to be played, but games are running out 100%. Staying obviously, Tosan, on a local front. I mean, the Nedbank Cup obviously saw Baroka not being able to get over Bloemfontein Celtic, quite a thumping actually. I mean, obviously they were unfortunate getting a red card, 3-0 in that game for Bloemfontein Celtic. And then yes, Mamelodi Sundowns in the last minute with a Lekay free kick against the same Bidvest.
Wow, that free kick was a wow moment. Eh? I said when I saw that free kick,
I want to differ with you on that. I want to differ with you. I honestly felt that the goalkeeper from Bidvest Wits, for me, was not good in that particular instance. It was an average free kick that I think South African attacking players should be able to execute. But Mhlongo for me in goals, that is a savable free kick. What do you think?
Don't you think that free kick, considering the distance, it was a little bit further out than the normal 30 yards? I think it was farther than that. If I'm estimating accurately, it looked like 32, 35 yards off.
But then doesn't that mean that there's more time for the goalkeeper to position himself and save it? If you are saying he's kicking from further.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it was an exciting game. The back and forth was exciting. I enjoyed that game.
It was a good game.
Well, the defenses were add a lot to play in it as well. They were not 100%. Up to scratch. Remember, because it was the first game coming back and all that. So, but it was a nice game.
So the final, Bloemfontein Celtic playing Mamelodi Sundowns. I mean, we know Mamelodi Sundowns are becoming cup kings themselves. Obviously having lifted many trophies in the last couple of years, really establishing themselves as, the creme de la creme with regards to South African football. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy game. There is not going to be a crowd in this particular game as we are still in lockdown. A lot still to play for, but they can't underestimate Celtic. I mean, 3 goals in their opening game. It's a good return against Baroka. How do you see the final going?
No, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for them. They must just draw strength from their experience winning the Telkom knockout. Then also, I think they just need to just avoid complacency and just stick to their game plan, because it's going to be a tough one going in against Bloemfontein. They're going to be really, really trying to create like a giant killing scenario. So, and they're going to be tough, especially when it comes to their defensive line. So, I think Sundowns just need to be careful. Hopefully, they can get some of their players back, because I know they are one of the teams who are struggling also with injuries as well. And I just hope that I believe they will be able to get over the line. I think Sundowns have too much experience to falter in this final, and I believe that
in the final. So you're giving it to Mamelodi Sundowns. I think on the balance of play, I probably see it go to extra time, but potentially Mamelodi Sundowns with their bench, the quality of bench. I mean, they are, and I'm not just talking about the bench in terms of their players. I mean, you even look at it from a coaching point of view. Rulani Mukwena obviously being back at Sundowns, they've literally got 3 head coaches on the sideline. So I think experience, the know-how, and the tactical astuteness that they have, I'd give it to Sundowns as well. So that'll
Yeah,
really
because
see them going for the double this season.
yeah,
Or the
because
triple, yeah, actually.
the treble. Because remember during the lockdown, Masumani
Yes, yes.
Musupu was hammering on it that look, they want to go for. I remember the press conference they had with the chairman of the club, and he was saying to the press that look, they're gonna go head on for all the titles, and I
Yeah,
believe that that passion is what I respect about Sundowns. They don't joke
yes.
with any competition, and
Competition,
I
yeah,
think
100%.
I think they I believe I think they would do the business and win the cup.
Win the cup.
Mm.
Tosan, anything else from a football point of view you want to discuss? Obviously, for you guys watching, I mean, this is our football show. This is the Offside podcast that where we bring you
Podcast.
just
Mm.
the latest and greatest information with regards to football, our views, just from passionate football fans. We want to be able to be the authority in this space and really just share what is happening in the world of football as we see it. Yes, there's so many platforms that people get information, but I think from a fan's point of view, it's nice to also get what's happening on the ground. What else about football as we wrap up do you want to discuss? Upcoming games, previous games, what's on your mind? Hi, Tosan.
Yeah, I think just basically also on the Europa League front as well. Just
Yes.
when the Europa unfolds, that side with Inter Milan, Man to the semi-final. Then also, it's a
Okay.
funny one this season. Like we have the time just seems very limited. You understand?
Yes.
For clubs to make transfers, and there's lots of dynamics coming into play with many clubs. Many clubs have to let
Tosan, we seem to be losing you. Your line
players
is not so clear
go.
on that side.
Many clubs have to bring in players, and now the financial situation with the FIFA. Hello,
Tosan, we seem to be
can
losing
you
you.
hear
Your
me
line is
better
not
now?
so clear.
Can you get me better now?
Not so much.
Hello? Is it better now?
Tolu, are you there?
Hello?
Tolu, are you
Hello?
there?
Uh, Can you hear
So
me? I can
Tosan,
hear
yes,
you.
was yes. I think
Yeah,
you
I
were
can
just
hear
discussing
you.
what was it, the Europa League.
Yeah. So is everything fine now?
It's slightly better, yes.
Yeah. So that's not worry. It's going to merge everything together.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So on the Europa League front, Man United, Inter Milan, I believe that it's going to be a fight to the end. I believe those are the two teams that will get to the final. And like I was saying about
Okay.
the what they call it, the transfer window. It's going to be a very,
Yes.
very interesting one, saying that we have a limited time and lots of players need to be shipped out, lots of players need to be brought in, and also in the financial front as well, because remember, lots of clubs suffered from the whole coronavirus effect of running a club. Finances were affected a lot by the club. So it's something that it's quite interesting to see how clubs are going to maneuver over the season. And also, lastly, one thing that was really, really, really interesting that I wanted to discuss with you guys. I was looking forward to discussing it with you and Tuma, but I just wanted to. I don't know if you heard about it. Malo, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm there. If I heard
Yeah.
about what?
The situation in Scottish football, the SPL,
Share with us.
the guy who the Celtic, you know,
Yes.
all teams that do regular checks with regards to the COVID-19 and all that. And there's strict
Yes.
regulations on players are not allowed to leave a particular bubble. You know,
Yes. Yes,
They're
yes,
not
yes.
allowed to leave their space. Yeah. So a particular player from Celtic, Bongoli, left
Yes.
just before they played the game against, I think, Kilmano. He traveled to
Okay.
Spain,
Okay.
and that broke the regulation.
Oh,
So now
wow.
there's a potential threat to even the continuation of the Scottish Football League, because it
Oh,
could
wow.
potentially affect the continuation of the league, because he traveled to Spain, and Spain is also a hotspot.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
So yeah. So it's now all Celtic games have been postponed
Oh, wow.
to further
Okay.
notice. Yeah.
Massive,
So it's
massive
an
news coming out.
interesting dynamic of how the football world is gonna be able to move forward with this.
100%.
So those are just my views as a fan, as a lover of football, and I see that clubs of some countries have started allowing fans to come in the US. The PSL, the MLS returned back, and the games that was played, I think Dallas and Nashville United.
Okay.
Some fans were allowed to come in, and I think gradually we're getting to that point where at least some certain amount of fans will be allowed to the
Yes.
game, and
Yes. I'm
we'll
even
start
hearing from
getting
a South
back to football.
African point of view, from the beginning of next season, there will be a slow ease of fans being able, even if it's just the people in the suite hospitality before then the general access. So a lot still to talk about, a lot still to uncover with regards to COVID and football as we move forward. But Tosan, as always, thank you very much for your time today. It's been an absolutely amazing show. Not quite the 1 hour. We thought we'd keep it nice and short.
Mm.
Obviously, rushing for the Barcelona and FC Bayern Munich
That's a
game.
Bayern game. Mm.
Great stuff.
Thank you so much, Marlo. Thanks for being on the show with me today. Looking forward to the next show we have in the coming days, and we'll be recapping the games that are coming up that just happened this weekend, and looking forward to the new games coming up and the transfer window. Thanks for
Great
having a
stuff.
wonderful show.
The Offside Podcast. Like,
Mm.
subscribe, follow us. News, breaking news, as you hear from Tosan and the gents. I'm sure Tuma will be in on the next episode. My name is Mallo Ramashaba. Thanks for watching, guys. We out.
We're out.